Peace to all the hip cats out there, coming into you live from that 2005. It's time for the one and only, the larrikins of love, the sad cases of sex, the sensations of masturbation, the Hungry Games. Episode 69. Feeling fine. Said what you need. Gonna give it to you up and down. Gonna slide up on that joystick. Gonna get into those memory card slots. Gonna slide up and down on your save point. Gonna give it to me all night long now. Hungry Gamers. Oh, Hungry Gamers. Say, Hungry Gamers. I said, what you need? Oh, Hungry Gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 69th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net, Audio Technica, and that sweet, sultry love. I'm not so humble host, Brendan White. Back again. I can be found at Brendan8bits, joined by my two boys, Reese Kirby, who can be found at Reese8bits, Liam Abraham, who can be found at Salim Abraham. Welcome to the House of Love.
Boys, we're going to slide all up and down those save points.
Yeah, man, just bring it on.
That was amazing.
I know.
That's the first time I heard that. And I feel like I should have probably been given some advanced listening privileges.
It was actually quite alarming how quickly that whole thing got done, because I did it after work and I literally walked in from work, sat down at the computer, turned it on, found a song, plugged it into the computer and just sung straight away, and that was the first take.
Can that just be the new intro?
I'm happy with that. We just need to take out the 69th bit every time.
Well, yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
Episode number 70.
We're
85.
we're in technically our second year. Maybe we're due for a change.
We could mix it up.
But hey, episode
Let's throw it to the fans.
69.
Yeah. Dinner for two.
Dinner for two.
Good times.
To all of our younger listeners, it's just another number.
Well,
To all of our older
the
listeners,
the zodiac sign Cancer turned vertically younger listeners. That's
right.
all it is.
okay.
that's right.
Very good point
Description
there,
there,
Brendan.
Brendan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're back.
I am back.
You are back.
I've missed you guys.
You have not.
Not as much as I thought I would have, but
Well,
I
that's-
missed you.
That's totally reciprocated. I
Wait, what did you think of Kerbo and the 6%er?
I think you did well.
Did you take any notes?
Praise from Caesar.
I was cursing to high hell on one of my internal flights in the States with the whole Bubsy and Busby saga.
You like
of,
that little experiment?
Episode 60. Oh, bullshit experiment. You
You
believed.
had no fucking idea.
You were all in on Busby. All in on Busby.
No. It was a test to see who was listening. Trust me, it was.
Well, and I said we've already talked about this kind of privately, and I'll say again what I said then. Who gives a fuck? Really?
I do.
Whether it's Bubsy or Busby, no one gives a shit.
The original Bubsy game on the SNES was fucking fantastic.
No, see,
Bubsy,
Great little side scroller.
I don't really think it's that great because I played it on the hyperdeck and I was like, oh sweet, but there's literally nothing you do except jump.
Having no idea what the
That's
game
what
was.
most games were back in those days.
Yeah,
All
but-
side scrollers.
Trust
you
me.
jump on things or over things.
Trust me,
Like-
they got inventive.
Little niche game called Super Mario kind of worked that way.
Yeah.
Hey. But like Bubsy to me, I had no fucking idea what that game was at all. And,
You're a
and
little
when
bobcat.
when you tagged me in the article on Facebook to say add this to the agenda,
And it says Bubsy on
it said Bubsy, and I just thought it was like a game about like a little Italian mafioso.
No,
Bubsy,
it's Bubsy the
rolling
Bobcat.
down like
You're thinking of Bugsy Malone.
That's probably close.
Yeah.
Although he's like, he's a 20s gangster, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
a little kid.
Now I'm just thinking of that song, Minnie the Moocher.
Minnie the Moocher.
Audio.
Blues Brothers, man, that's an amazing film.
So you weren't dead. We didn't kill you to inherit the 8-bit fortune.
No.
You were at E3.
I think the battle still rages on, though. There was There was a
We
bit of
haven't
debate
decided.
and inner turmoil and discussion about who takes the host chair.
We haven't decided whether or not we want to overthrow you. We're still open to the idea.
You guys could do other podcast and just have it as Kerbo and the 6%.
We could.
No one would listen. Like, people barely listen to this.
Give our listeners some respect.
No, we do. Yeah,
We have quality, not quantity.
We have both.
Oh,
do we?
Yeah.
Do we?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be
Do we?
humble.
Do we? Do we?
No, you're trying to be an arse and
He's
talk
trying
down
to be
our
humble.
listeners.
Sit down.
This is going downhill real fast.
Well, hey, we're
I'm
in
going
sync.
back on holidays.
You can fucking
No,
go.
you're staying right there. That way I don't have to do as much.
We were happy to do Kerbo and the 6%er. It was an absolute honor, a pleasure, and a privilege. I think to
absolutely.
make those 2 episodes.
Definitely feels good to be back in the.
It does feel
trifecta.
good to have you back, yeah. And of course it won't be totally whole until Ali comes back as well. But
That's true.
she's got another, I don't know, month, 2 months.
Yeah, she's over there till I think mid-August.
She really
thereabouts.
needed a break.
I just
from
noticed
us.
on her Instagram that she was being judged by a squirrel.
Those
Really?
squirrels are very judgmental bastards.
Really?
It was holding a
A nut?
it was holding a nut. I'm like,
Acorn?
That's so stereotypical. Like,
What are they judging you for? Yeah, I know. Like,
They-
come on, get something new, squirrel.
Because
Yeah.
they're just like,
Get an iPhone or
why aren't you holding nuts, Ali? I've got this
I'm
nut
not
here,
going to
why aren't
answer.
you
I'm
holding
not going to
nuts?
answer that at all. That's not
Yeah.
right.
I'll talk about my nuts, not her nuts.
You're not right, Brendan. You're not right.
Well, what else would a squirrel be thinking about? Their life revolves around nuts, really.
You know, squirrels lose most of their nuts. Like, you know how they hide nuts and shit?
Yeah.
They lose them.
That's me.
like, there's
I'm
a
a
stat.
squirrel.
Does they get married? Is that what happens?
Whoa. Excuse me.
I don't know. Probably because
Those that are worthy of the
with the
institution
brain
of
a
marriage,
fucking
yes.
peanut. Oh yeah, you're the only married guy here.
Well, duh.
Yeah.
We're two of Sydney's best free agents.
Brendan's married to his
not me.
Nintendo Switch.
Not me. I'm married to my work.
Shit.
Liar.
If anyone from your work is listening to this, they are cackling right now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Turns up at 10:30.
Leaves at 3.
So we're here.
Fucking good life.
Quality.
The Holy Trinity is back.
Yeah.
It's the 69th episode. We've got a potentially new sexy intro there, which is fantastic. I love your work on that.
That's all right, man.
Especially
I love doing that
slide
stuff.
into those memory card sluts.
It just came to me. Literally.
Peeling back the curtain, we did record an episode last week. But
Yes,
in
That's
all,
one for the archives.
in all honesty, it was another one of those E3 press conference recaps. And you know what? There's 7,000 of those out there already. Ours was probably the best one still, but we thought, in the interest of fairness,
We're going to make that a B-side.
we're gonna...
The cojones on this guy.
Look
I
at
got those
Jones.
squirrel nuts, bruh.
You got squirrel.
Co Jones.
Yeah, it was a Hungry Gamers Nights edition.
Yeah, let's
too.
not ever do that again. Let's.
I like the Knights
That was
episode.
a long day.
No, it was a bad idea.
It was a 2 hour and 20 minute slog.
That'll never see the light of
the
day.
energy levels subsided fairly quickly.
All right, next time
Sam fell asleep at the mic.
Next time we do nights, beers.
I thought you were going to say cocaine.
Well,
Hey,
not against.
bags. The boys are on.
Oh, love it. Okay.
All right. So anyway,
Don't do drugs.
we just thought let's do something a little bit different. Instead of going from press conference A to press conference B and reciting probably
The same things.
what the majority of fellow podcasters out there would be talking about, we thought we'd change it up and we'll give you a bit of a boots on the ground
Yeah.
feel
First-hand
for
look.
E3.
Because, see, that's where we differentiate. We actually had a man on the ground sent by 8-Bit HQ to do some reconnaissance work for E3. So, everything you're going to be listening to is a first-hand experience of what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm
According-
just very excited.
According to the man on the ground.
Yeah.
According to the man.
So we're
on
going
the
to cross live now to you, Brendan.
ground. And this is an interesting tale. We've already heard bits and pieces. I'd be interested to hear the rest of it. There is booze involved at certain points.
Yeah, the key here is
There is good
summary.
food, some parties, and of course the fantastic highlights and events of E3.
Yeah, so
Or
did we want to...
Or do we want to just own it and say B3?
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Yes.
That's some of your best
I'm
work.
certainly not selling 15,000 tickets to ride this pony.
The spirit is willing, but the body is crushed.
So,
Full of it today. I love it.
what do you think? Are we going right into this, or should we do our usual what's been going on?
Oh,
Because I want to know what you guys have been doing. Anything exciting this
mate,
week?
not a lot.
I'll give you bullet points. Tekken 7.
Yep.
YSBs today. I'm making top 8, or I'm going home crying. It's going to be one of the two.
Top 8.
Top 8.
That's some MySpace talk for you.
Oh, yeah. That's big.
Yeah. Top 16 even. I'm happy
Was
with
I
that.
in your top 8?
You were.
Yeah.
Was
Yep.
I?
You were
I
in
don't-
my top 8.
You both were.
No,
You were in my top 8.
fuck you.
You were.
You don't. I can never prove it now. It's past the point of proving it.
Because I deleted my MySpace.
Mine's still out there somewhere.
You deleted yours?
Yep.
Wow.
I used to post some real emo shit on MySpace. I remember.
Yeah, for sure. That's how you got girls.
That's it.
Just,
those were the
to show
moves.
that you were damaged.
Yeah, just exploit any sort of.
I maybe showed that a little bit too
upset
much.
feeling.
Because you got too many girls?
No, I got 0.
Oh.
Absolutely 0.
You got one. You got the right one.
Oh, but not from MySpace.
You'll get a few girls if you start singing that opening jingle. You know,
You reckon?
That's your theme song.
Okay, I should
right
never
there.
sing that because I'm happily married, so no.
There needs to be a music video to that. Jingle.
Maybe I could be my alter ego. What would my alter ego for that singer be?
Sir Memory Card Slut.
What was Corduroy Callan? What was that thing? I
Oh
made?
yeah, I still don't understand what the fuck that is, but yes, Corduroy
Yeah,
Callum.
Corduroy Callum.
All right,
There
great.
he is.
Yeah, I was gonna have like moaning sounds and have this woman be like, "Oh, Craig," and have him be like,
No, I think
it's
Les
perfect the way it
was
is.
more like the
Yeah.
bits in it. That
"Oh,
was perfect.
yeah."
The
Well,
little
I had
sort
to
of
get
female harmonies.
I had to get Tina Arena in to do that. So
It's hard because she was in chains, wasn't she?
What?
yes, that's some fucking prime Hungry Gamers bants right there.
I have no idea what the fuck.
It's
is
a song
happening.
she sings
Tina
called
Arena.
I'm in chains.
No.
That was fucking great.
There's a.
I'm zinging off an extra large coffee
Yeah,
from our local.
the coffees
the
are really the
Bankery.
key.
Well, keep that zing going. Let's jump into you.
Okay,
Son of a bitch.
Before E3 and before all that, I just want to preface this and say that I went.
Preface?
Same thing.
Is it?
Yes.
Don't drag him
Spelt
over the
the same
coals
way.
over one inflection, okay?
Oh, I'm setting the tone for the next hour.
And then some.
Yeah.
God, he's getting that look.
I went and watched Transformers the last night this week
Oh yeah. All right.
against the world's wishes. You know, I'm a Transformers fan.
Still?
Like, I'm trying to think of just old school. Like, not the films, right? The
I-
films are dead to me, and,
Well,
and
I
even
like the
more so
first
now.
one.
The first one was okay. The
But
second one
I
was
saw the
alright, but then it
trailers
just
for
went-
this one.
It just sunk.
I saw the trailers for this one. I looked sick.
Yeah, well, they can do that, but the film goes for 2 hours and 20 minutes for one.
Jesus.
And it's just so poorly cut together. There's just these massive plot holes that just make no fucking sense. You're sitting there like it was that bad. I was laughing in the cinema at times, like how bad it was. Not even because it was a comedic moment. Which I'm just sitting there going, "Holy shit, this is terrible."
That's how I felt watching Guardians too.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sam.
So now you know.
You're just
Now
being
you know.
provocative. Like,
No, I'm being straight up. I'm trying to empathize here with Brendan.
No, you're not. You're just
I am.
trying to stir the pot.
No.
Anyway, it sucks.
Sammy
I
shit
like
talker.
that you thought going in that there might be some kind of redeeming quality to a Transformers film.
Well, I thought, because they introduced Grimlock and the Dinobots in the previous one, right?
Kind
sure.
of.
Yeah, for a hot minute at the end. And they get shown, and Grimlock showcased pretty early in the piece. But then, I'm going to go into spoilers because I doubt anyone's going to care too much. And the film doesn't really even have much of a plot anyway. But, there's this big battle, as there is in all these Transformers films, a big battle that's going to, shape the universe and potentially destroy Earth and all this bullshit, right?
Right.
So they summon all the Transformers that are on Earth to come fight because Cybertron's getting pulled to Earth, and it's like one planet has to take over the other. So it's either Cybertron's dead forever, Earth's dead forever. And big massive battle at the end. The Dinobots aren't even there. Yet
Where are they?
They don't even explain. They were
Extinct.
hanging out. Mark Wahlberg's hiding, right? Cage Yeager is his name in this, which is, a
Has that
name
always been
ripped
his
straight
name?
out of an anime. Yeah. So he's hiding in the Arizona desert in a wreckers, like a car wreckers, right? And all the Transformers are off the radar. all the good Autobots are hanging out there with him. And so the Dinobots are there. And then all of a sudden there's baby Dinobots. I don't know how they fucking reproduce or whatnot. So there's baby Dinobots there.
When a mummy Dinobot and a daddy Dinobot love each other very much.
This is the perfect episode to break it down.
They
feed each other.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That sounds probably pretty right. That metal rod you were just
exactly,
slapping there.
Yeah.
Memory card slot.
There's baby Dinobots and there's full-size Grimlock. You see him in the early parts, then they're gone. There's no Dinobots in it or mentioned since.
That's dumb.
And then this big battle that's going to save or destroy Earth, you'd think they'd be there because he's destroying everybody. He's fussing up Decepticons.
So the reason you don't like it is because the Dinobots were missing.
Well, that part, yes. But like, there's just weird plot holes like Optimus gets taken over, right? And he becomes like controlled by the quote-unquote creator of Transformers.
Sure.
Who looks
Michael
sort
Bay.
of like Kerrigan from StarCraft.
Yep.
Got a bit of a vibe like that. And so she's taking control of him and she's like, you got to go to Earth and get this staff to destroy Earth and then replenish Cybertron. Da, 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 da. And so he's under her control, but then Bumblebee just talks to him once and then he's like, oh, Bumblebee, I'm so sorry. I was under the control. I'm just like, okay, so she's meant to be this powerful deity. Her mind control spell is just gone now.
It's the power of love that set him free, though. It's not like Bumblebee's voice.
But then Bumblebee, you know,
what
he
resonates.
lost his voice box throughout the entirety of these films. They get him a new one. It's a female one, so he rips it out. But then in that scene with Optimus, he can suddenly talk with his normal voice, even though he doesn't even have a fucking voice box
You're right.
in there.
That is a pretty decent plot hole. That's messed up.
Again,
But then at the end, when they're having this ultimate battle, right, Optimus is like, I'm going to lead the charge. And he fucking does this big grand, like, flight into the sky, and then just disappears, and they're battling, and they're like, where's Optimus? They're in the battle, and he's not even there. They don't explain where he goes, what he does, but he rolls in later and fucks up some people, and I'm like, what have you been doing for the last half an hour while all your mates are dying?
Get
like,
Michael Bay on the phone.
And then there's just like this random little girl who's like 14 years old that old Mark Wahlberg takes on as like his little protege, and she's some super genius like builder. Obviously, she can build fucking Transformers. And it's so bad.
Okay.
It is so fucking bad.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Mark Wahlberg out of breath?
Not in this. No, he's pretty. I think he's increased his cardio. He's looking like young Marky Mark. There's like a shirt off scene in it, and he's as jacked as I've seen him.
You
in a
know,
long
he's
time.
like staunchly against tattoos.
No.
Mark Wahlberg. He's really against tattoos.
Really?
Boston
He's
pride,
got
bruh.
he's got campaigns about having tattoos removed. Why? It's so weird.
I still find it amazing that you thought you'd get a good Transformers movie
I
out
didn't
of
think
this.
I would, but like it's just.
Have you guys seen the?
And now I
It's
feel
cheesed
like,
me,
and now
man.
I feel like listening for the last 5 minutes to you talk about it. I feel like I've seen it, and I feel dirty.
Yeah,
Have you guys
that's how I
seen
still
the-
feel now, and I watched it.
the cartoon Transformers? I know
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have.
That's the best.
'Cause
That's
that's like-
prime.
Just
Yeah,
stick to
because
that,
A1
Brendan.
Prime goes
Transformers.
down and becomes Ultra Magnus. That's a fucking story. And like, you know that soundtrack with John Cafferty? You got the touch. Hell yeah, give me some of that shit.
All right, so
But anyway, moving on.
You fucked up.
Transformers.
It's- someone had to watch
hurt
it.
me good.
Yeah,
And from what the internet is saying, they've got scripts for another 12 of these.
Oh Jesus,
mate. They
12.
would have.
they must put them through like a.
There is no narrative consistency. There doesn't need to be. They just need Michael Bay or some Michael Bay cunt to be alive so they can fucking make these
Those
films.
scripts are made with an Excel macro. Just push enter and F9, bang, transform script.
But anyway,
I feel.
Sam
I just
seems
feel like
really
I've just
upset.
been, yeah. I just no. I
do not watch it.
I feel like I've watched it. I feel like I've watched it and I feel dirty.
I'm hoping I've got all you guys and girls out there
that's
feeling dirty. It is the 69th
You need to put like
episode.
some kind of warning at the front of that conversation so that people can know.
Warning, could trigger.
Talking about Transformers.
So okay, so that's what I did.
Give me
this
something positive now. Can I give you something positive?
Give me
really
something
quickly.
positive.
I watched a 2 hour and 40-minute film called Ran by Akira Kurosawa for the Sydney Film Festival. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a sick movie.
Great movie. Saw it on the big screen.
Wow, nice.
1985, I think it was made. It's fucking amazing. You should have spent your money doing that, Brendan, but instead, you're a dickhead. You went, you saw a dinosaur, and you were like, ooh, Grimlock, and then went and watched Michael Bay. In spite of your better judgment and the advice of everyone, you went and saw Transformers instead.
You didn't give me any advice.
That's really harsh, Sam. Like,
It was pretty
6%er.
harsh.
relax, man.
Yeah. Nah.
Calm down.
I need something uplifting. Bring me back, guys. Bring me back.
No.
Well, yeah, you stay out there on your island. You rot out there.
Did anyone like Transformers? Let us know. We won't be, aggressive in the same way that I was to Brennan just a moment ago, but I would actually be interested to see if anyone genuinely thinks these are good films.
Sadly, and I know he doesn't listen to this podcast, but a guy I used to be mates with way back when, he's on my Facebook friends list. He went and watched it the same night, and he posted a status, and it was like, just watch the last night, so fucking good, everyone has to see it. And I'm like,
dude,
I really want to get in on this right now and give it to him, but I'm like, no.
You've got those friends on Facebook that are like that, just the really sort of cringe people that you're like, I can't unfriend you because they're the sorts of people who will be like, why'd you unfriend me? It's like,
what? Just do it. Just unfriend them. Unfriend him, Brendan.
Might do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right.
What we're going to do, we're going to go through the week that was with E3. I was there for sort of a few weeks prior, went and seen Kind of Funny live, did a whole heap there. That was awesome. Don't really want to dive too heavily into that. I thought we'd just focus on E3, frontline, boots on the ground styles, give you my hot takes of what I saw, what I played, pros, cons, everything in between. And yeah, give me some insight as we're talking about these two, like what things you saw that were great, or throw questions. Maybe not throw so much abuse at me, Sam. I'm pretty fragile after you just taking me to task there. But yeah, so
it's all about breakfast Lebanese pizza.
I got into...
It was good.
Yeah, pizza for breakfast, though, is fantastic. Fantastic.
It's not really a pizza, but it's close.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I flew into LA on the Saturday morning. I was in San Diego for a few days, hanging out with Ali and her fantastic partner, Pedro, drinking, eating, having fun, all that stuff. Flew into LA, got to my Airbnb, and there was an IGN pre-party, right? It was open to the public in downtown Hollywood. So I went along to this. Similar to experiences with E3 as a whole, because it was opened up to everybody, it was shoulder to shoulder, wall to wall, queues on queues to get drinks. So I was only there for about an hour and a half because it was just ridiculous. Couldn't move.
So, just on that, let's talk about these crowds. So who was kind of going to this? Is it your general convention crowd of, part cosplayer, part long-time fan?
Like if you want to copy and paste, say, a PAX crowd or an EB Expo crowd or not a Supernova crowd, because that's typically majority cosplay and that style. But they confirmed there's about, I think it was just under 69,000 total people attended PAX. E3 this year.
Yeah, right.
Last year there was 51,000. So there was another, 18,000 people on top. So 30% on top from years prior. There was a good energy as a whole at E3. I think having the general public there, had the halls booming. Like, everyone's excited. They just saw press conferences. They just played this, so there was a lot of energy, a lot of positive emotion. And then the queues came. I got there on the first day. We're sort of jumping a few days here, but I'll just sort of say when I got there, the show opened up on the Tuesday morning, and I got there early. And I was inside early and I watched, and the crowds opening the doors to it looked like one of those scenes you see in a viral video about one of these Black Friday sales in America.
Oh, no.
Just people just charging.
I hate that about people.
Yeah.
That really upsets me.
Have a look. There's a few videos. I've got a few. I need to actually upload the one with that little video.
Because what are you rushing in for?
Any E3 injuries or deaths?
There wasn't any deaths. No doubt there would have been some injuries, because one of the biggest things I noticed in parallel of, say, the standalone press conferences, the security was very, very relaxed for E3.
Wow.
And not relaxed. Maybe relaxed isn't the right word. I think they were underprepared. They didn't have enough people on the ground to adequately check everybody.
Even just not security guards, but even just volunteers or general floor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
okay.
It was, and seeing that first opening salvo when those doors open, and you can hear the security guards before it. They're like, "Now don't run, walk in an orderly fashion." And the second the doors open, everyone's just like, "Fucking book it, Nintendo booth, Sony booth," and it was.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. There would have been injuries, no doubt, because people were just getting smashed.
You would, you would run. Because
Because
otherwise you're in line for 4 hours for 15 minutes a game.
Yeah, the lines are bullshit. We'll talk more about that in a bit. So IGN pre-party, meh, it was all right. I went to an IGN full studio tour in San Fran, which was fantastic. Anyone that's going to San Francisco, check out the IGN schedule because they do these things every couple of months or so, a couple of times a week. Really cool to see behind the curtain, see where all the podcasts are recorded, where all their video content's recorded, the sales floor, the sort of front of camera staff running around.
How does it stack up against Hungry HQ?
We've got a little bit of work to do.
We got a little bit of competition, do we?
Yeah. It was very impressive. Like,
I don't like it when people are catching up to us.
like you sort of saw the small humble beginnings. That was almost like a storage closet that they used to record the podcast in for a long time in there, and it's still set up and it's still real humble, and it's like just an average desk like we're sitting at here in a sort of pretty blank room.
Yeah.
But now on like where they're recording Beyond and Scoop and all these other podcasts now, and it's no cent is spared. It's top dollar.
Wow.
Millions of dollars worth of equipment. It's a very, very high end setup, as you'd know. Like IGN are the industry leaders in that sort of space.
That's right.
But it was cool to meet a lot of the people that work there, sort of pick their brain a little bit, get some photos, so on and so forth. So I would recommend doing that. It's free of charge.
There you go. That's a hot tip for anyone in San Fran.
That's a great.
Visiting San Francisco.
Yeah, it went for about 2 hours thereabouts, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
Well worth it. And at the end of it, they do like a big group photo, which is good. So you got something to
which you
commemorate your time.
Right in the middle.
You were the dead center of
Bang
that photo.
smack in the middle.
Yeah, which I'm sure was by accident, but
Nah.
it's also kind of like special, right?
Brendan's like, I'm top dog.
It was by accident. In my mind, I'm sitting there going, how can I sort of position myself to get closer to Naomi Kyle? But instead I end up bang smack in the middle.
That's
She's
own
lovely,
backwards.
by the way. She's lovely, by the way.
Oh, it's nice.
So doubling back, IGN pre-party was a mess. I had 2 beers left. Then I went to the EA Play press event. So EA Play, or EA Electronic Arts, they did an event leading up to E3 where on the Saturday night it was a closed-off event to media and special guests where they had early access to their sort of EA Play stand. So they had like Battlefield available, Need for Speed, new FIFA, all their slew of titles. But then they had an after party in this thing, and up on the rooftop they had our rap fiend Naz playing. So I got to
saw this.
Listen to a few beats from Naz just at this random event at EA that EA are putting together, which was cool. Like, it was so bizarre.
Khaled's holding out on the new album.
Yeah,
Tell you about that.
a lot of Naz fans at E3.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Like it was interesting, but EA Play was awesome. The queues the next day, I went there the next day as well and sort of played some stuff, but the general public got access on the Sunday, Monday, and a bit of the Tuesday, and the queues were around the corner, down the block. It almost wrapped around onto itself again. Like, the queues were 4 hours long to get into this thing. So power to everyone that did queue up, because it was worth it once you got in. But my God, just the ongoing theme of E3 and all these subsequent events is patience, because you're waiting a lot. You're waiting to play a game, you're waiting to get in, you're waiting to order your lunch.
But see, even as like media, I mean, obviously, like lunch lines and things like that. But even with a media pass, like, surely you jump into the front of the line, or you got some scheduled time.
Yeah. Like, I was lucky in the fact that media passes, they're probably fairly simple to obtain, but the hard part is then booking all your appointments. Mm-hmm. So I had appointments scheduled for every day, so I knew at time X I'd go to the Sony booth. 2 hours later, I'd go see Logitech. I'd go see Devolver, XYZ. So I'm avoiding all the queues, maximizing the time, where a lot of the general show floor public, they'd get in, they'd queue for 3 hours, play one game for 10 minutes, queue for another one,
All
play
right.
for 10 minutes.
Let's talk games.
Hang on, we going days here, or do you want to? What games are we going here?
Well, I was going to say, give me your top 10 games that you played.
Give me a day. Give me your top 10 days that you were there.
This is just getting out of control.
It's out of control. No, so keep going. Day one.
So day one, that pretty much wraps day one. So day two, Sunday, EA played Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Played 20 on 20. It was the level they demoed at the press conference. Clone Army, Android Army, massive big battles. It was great because the level started big, massive open area, and it's sort of 3-stage level. Like, you got to as one of the armies, you have to sort of make your way in to sort of shut down this palace. And as you get through these progressive levels in the game, the scope narrows, so it becomes a bit more of a choke point, a little bit more sort of close quarters, crazy chaos, especially when someone's like running around as Darth Maul or
Here's my
Rey,
question.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, here's my question. Did you get to play as a hero?
I got to play as Darth Maul,
Okay.
and he's
What's that like?
he's
Boss.
nuts, super fast,
Yeah.
dual lightsabers, running around, spinning. You know, like
such a boss.
anyone seen the Phantom Menace knows
Yeah.
he's a wrecking machine,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what he was doing in this.
And then did you get into any of the aircrafts?
I did. I got
What was
into
that
the
like?
aircraft. It sort of looks like a tadpole. It's sort of a tadpole with the two sort of side engines.
Yeah.
It's the weird one from the Phantom Menace and the Clone Wars one. I can't remember what the ship, what the exact, like it's probably F-wing or whatever. It's some letter
Sure.
attached with something else.
Okay.
I'm still not very good at flying in this game.
Was it easier though? Because it sucked in Battlefront 1.
The controllers seemed a little bit tighter
Okay.
in the air combat, but whoever it was that I was trying to dogfight in the sky, he was clearly a lot better than me because I got taken down pretty quick. But it was cool because I was sort of zipping around the skyline, and you can sort of duck in and shoot the troops that are running around sort of the buildings and everything. It felt intense. Like it felt like I was in a Star Wars film, which is good, and that's what everyone wants.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
The multiplayer wasn't a problem.
no, it was just the lack of single player.
Yeah.
And now that they've addressed that, obviously with this standalone sort of new story that Janine Gavankar is sort of facing as the lead character, I'm excited for that. What I also went to on that day, I went to the Microsoft press conference. So this was the one I was the most excited for because, you know, in the console wars, I'm a Xbox fanboy first and foremost. I'd say for the most part, I'm pretty neutral, but you know, the Green X, that's my boy. It's my home.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Turbo.
I'm sorry. It came out the
I'm
wrong
sitting
way.
on Sony's side, so you know.
So, obviously, hype was ripe with Project Scorpio.
Yeah, which
What
is the
was
Xbox
it?
One X.
I don't think so at all.
Here we go.
The Xbox One X.
So, yes, they came out, and I think they started that press conference so well. Like, especially
It was a great conference.
in the Coliseum where this was getting showcased. Like, there was a lot of energy, a lot of hype, production value was high. Came out. It's not Project Scorpio, it's Xbox One X. Then they sort of briefly dove into some of the specifications a little bit more. And then they went into Forza 7, which was cool, but then it just dragged. When they're like, oh, new Porsche 911 2018 GT World Unveiling.
I still have a problem with that. 911.
But that's what Porsche have had this model known as for 20 plus years.
I still think they could do better to market it. Like,
Well, Sam,
you can
I can put you in touch
you
with
can
Porsche
change
Australia,
three
and you can
fucking
talk to them.
digits. If you can't change 3 digits, what the fuck are you doing?
You should just.
So in like 2001 or 2002, after 911, they were still calling their new Porsche models the 911.
and they were calling it that in like the late 80s as well.
Do you want to know why,
That's
Sam?
crazy.
Because you don't change the name of your product after a terrorist attack. You don't let the terrorists win.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't strike you
You're
guys as
with
odd?
me.
I'm with you. I like that.
Just yes, it's called 911 because that's what it's fucking called. You know, you don't change your thing because don't give in to the terrorists.
But it's
On
just
this topic,
weird.
yeah, well,
It's just
America as a whole,
weird.
wouldn't they change their like emergency number then?
Yeah, true.
But they call it 911 though. You know what I mean? They literally just say 911.
You're splitting hairs, mate. You're splitting hairs.
No, there's a big difference, I think, between like referring to like that fucking horrible, tragic day as 9/11 and then saying the Porsche is 9/11.
Well, let's see if the public are on your side, Sam. Send us a tweet to We Are
I'm just
8-Bit.
saying it's weird, and I'm saying you could market it differently. That's
Tweet
what
us.
I'm saying.
Tweet Sam. Tweet me. Like, let's talk about this.
Let's
really
unpack
like to unpack.
Porsche 911 gate.
Yeah. Don't just chuck gate on everything.
Yeah,
We've got to stop.
you're very quick. You're very quick.
We're,
to
no,
do that.
we're all quick to do that.
I don't do it.
I don't like this pack mentality you little rabid dogs are showing us.
Pack mentality.
So you were at Microsoft, and
It dragged. Like, the Forza thing was great. It was cool, but then they went too deep into this Porsche 911, 911, whatever. This Porsche.
Nine. Shut up, Sam.
I want to
Yeah.
get.
And it got
pushed about it now.
lost, and then they were using, word trickery with sort of how they're presenting games about quote-unquote exclusives.
So did that just confuse the fuck out of everyone there? Because it definitely confused me when I was watching it.
It confused a few, but I was sitting with...
People were bewildered in the audience.
Like, what does that
Constantly
mean?
bewildered.
Is it a timed exclusive? Is it Microsoft exclusive?
Yeah.
But,
console exclusive. I didn't like that term, console exclusive.
Or launch exclusive was the other one.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so just reiterating, console exclusive means that it's
Only
it could
Xbox.
potentially...
only Xbox, but it's PC as well.
Yeah, it's already released on PC for a lot of them. Like, there was an MMO, I forget which MMORPG they were...
You're talking about like
showcasing.
Battlegrounds? Well, it's not an MMO.
No, not Battle... Anyway, but there are a few there that have already been released on PC, been out forever, but they're all console exclusive. But yeah, like PUBG Battlegrounds is, perfect
so
example.
a lot of that bloody salesman silver tongue shit going on in there. And I guess for general public, it created unnecessary excitement when they hear there's 42 games getting shown and 22 of them are exclusives.
Yeah.
And then you find out some are timed exclusives. Like, I have no issues with the Windows-based exclusive when it plays on the Xbox One series as well as Windows 10. I like that Play Anywhere ecosystem they've created now. I think that's great.
But who are they fooling? You know what I mean? Like,
it's just all it was to try and like build themselves up that they've got more exclusive IP. Like, Phil Spencer has since come out and said they are working on 2 or 3 AAA Xbox or Microsoft-based exclusives.
Yeah.
But they're so early in development, they didn't want to do what Nintendo did, where they just pulled up a still image, Metroid Prime 4, and that was it. It's coming, or it's in development.
Got hype.
And it got
Say
hype.
what you want about that, but it got hype.
But they wanted to
seeing a little dude tell me there's
add some substance.
Seeing a little dude tell me there's a Pokemon game coming to the Nintendo Switch, that was fine. That was enough.
Yeah.
I was happy to do. I don't need to see what it looks
That
like.
that could be some really like messed up, anti-hype bullshit going on because it's like it could just be Pokemon costume change where you just have Pokemon and you put different outfits on.
Game. No, they said core game.
They said core game RPG, Pokemon RPG, made by
Game Freak.
Yeah. So they've got the big boys involved. To what degree we don't know with that game, but yeah, it did get people hyped.
Like that's enough.
And the show floor was buzzing from that. But Microsoft, they came out
a little bit
strong,
lackluster. Yeah, a little bit
then,
lackluster.
Then it sort of fizzed a little bit here and there regarding the overall mixed message. Another press conference I went to that day, went to the Bethesda press conference. It's really short, about 40 minutes or so.
Yeah.
The press conference as a whole was a bit of a fizzer. I think it was probably one of the best executed because it was just, here's a game, bam, here's a trailer, here's some gameplay, bam, bam, bam. Like, it was clear, it was concise.
Content heavy.
They created Bethesda Land, which was fucking awesome. There was Ferris wheels, there was sideshows, there was, Wolfenstein themed diner set up, there was games to play, there was Nuka-Cola to drink. So they went all out in that regard.
What does Nuka-Cola taste like?
There's Nuka-Cola everywhere.
It's sort of like a Mountain Dew, sort of tasty, really, like Mountain Dew 7-Up.
I love Mountain Dew.
Yeah. But
like Nuka-Cola.
Yeah.
You might do. You might do. So I think as a whole, Bethesda and their look and their delivery was great, but they didn't need a press conference. The only 2 games that were worth talking about at the end was bloody Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus.
Evil Within.
And Evil Within 2. Mm-hmm. Everything else was just rehashed. They sort of went, here's Elder Scrolls Skyrim on the Switch.
Yeah.
Here's VR Fallout 4.
I really wanted to see New Elder Scrolls. Yeah. And Wolfenstein just doesn't do it for me.
Wolfenstein looked great, and I got a behind-the-scenes sort of media viewing of it in a little bit of an extended light on the show floor during E3, and it looks awesome. Anyone that hasn't played Wolfenstein: The New Blood, go pick it up. I think you can get it for like under $20. And it's one of the best first-person shooters on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. It's just fun, tight controls, gory, big weapons, big set pieces. It's just good fun. It's a fun game. And there's going to be more of this with the new Colossus.
Okay.
It looks bonkers, though. Like, when they open with that real trailer, like, sort of set in the 60s or whatever, and she's walking along, and the guy's stuck under the car, and the big robo-dog smashes it over to save him, but then destroys everything.
Is that not, like... It feels so much... so very similar to Fallout for me. Fallout where the Nazis won, basically. That's what it feels like to me, and it's sort of same era, same aesthetic.
I'll agree on the aesthetic, but I think tonally, to a degree, it feels like. Remember the shitty 2 games that I try and forget, Homefront?
Yeah.
It's like that. That's the kind of look they're going for, where the baddies have won. America's under this evil regime. You're going to do good by it, but yeah, it does have that Fallout 4 skin to it. I'll admit that. Like it's got that.
It
60s era,
feels like
60s era skin.
Fallout 4, just Nazi mod.
But I'd love that. And
Sure.
more BJ Blazkowicz. He's a fantastic protagonist.
Hey,
you're liking the
speaking of mods, there's that little thing that Bethesda are doing now for
For Fallout 4.
For Fallout 4.
Where they've opened up the database, so to speak, where you can...
Creation
Club, full mod support on console now.
Yeah, so you submit the mod, and then they make money off it. Is that
you can,
how it works?
I think the general public can submit, but it's mostly from predetermined or
that's
quote
right.
unquote.
So they make it, but they've been found to be copying well-known mods.
Well, they've got their in-house dev team, sorry.
Yeah.
And then they've also allowed for third-party developers to also create mods, but there's presumably some kind of authorization process in the middle there.
Imagine if we got like an 8-bit Craig mod for Fallout 4.
Fucking make it.
That'd be
Hell
sick.
yeah.
Someone
could. Someone could. That'd be awesome. I wish I had some kind of ability in that regard, because I'd love to do that.
Let's throw that out there to our fans. If you can create an 8-bit Craig Fallout mod, I'll send you a t-shirt.
It is a bit of bullshit. A little bit of bullshit, I think.
That they're charging for it?
Yeah, just because it's like it was something that wasn't necessarily like a marketplace, an established marketplace, and they've taken this really cool thing and then they've made it a market for which they control. And like, fair enough, it's their games. Like, you know, they have a right to do it, but it just seemed like, I mean, that's the reason Skyrim's still around, is just because for so long people have modded the shit out of it to make it more interesting than what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, how's bloody Zelda? Zelda time for the Switch.
It's so weird.
Is that Zelda what?
Yeah.
So with Skyrim coming to the Switch,
Yeah.
they've announced that there's like a chest you can get, or I guess it's probably just come
You
standard.
just tap the amiibo. Apparently, that's what they did. They tapped
That's
the
right. You
amiibo
get your
to the
little,
Switch.
armor
Link
or something, doesn't
amiibo,
it?
and you get the full Link sort of outfit
From Breath of
with
the
the
Wild,
shield
yeah.
and the sword, and you run around as like a giant Norseman in the Link costume. Really, like
That's cute, but it's not. I don't know. It's a bit
You get like
downplaying.
I'm
it's just
sure
pandering.
somewhere. Yeah, it is. I'm sure somewhere there's just like a modder that's already done that.
Yeah, there you go.
You know,
Yeah.
you didn't know. Like, what's an amiibo these days? What are amiibos going for?
under 20, I think.
But
Yeah.
they're not. They didn't really take off that much.
Oh no, they're still around. Their hooks have firmly sunk into a lot of the gamers out there, and they're clever. Just like little things like that, where you can get a unique skin or a unique item. People
Yeah.
froth that shit. Not me, but there's a lot of people that do.
I'll tell you one thing I've frothed from Bethesda's was Evil Within 2. I thought that trailer looked sick.
It was so artistic.
Yeah.
That was a big call. That one, like that's
Like the first one,
a bit of a mic drop.
first
moment.
one didn't sell huge.
Scary as fuck though.
It was very scary.
culty.
The enemies,
Yeah.
it's got a
Yeah.
real. The enemies have a real like Hellraiser vibe to them.
So let's throw that out there to people. If you haven't played Evil Within 1,
Play it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that on Steam? It should be on Steam.
It's on Steam and it's
Yeah.
on console as well.
There you go.
hey,
Might be on the Steam sale.
PSA, yeah, Steam summer sale happening now.
Yeah, I bought like 15 games yesterday for about $50.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a hit tonight.
So yeah, Evil Within, it's a continuation of the first one. Same sort of themes. Looks great on sort of the gameplay and the trailer that they showed during their presser.
Yep.
I'm excited. I think one of the coolest things though, in closing off that Sunday night with Bethesda, is every game they showed is out this year.
Yeah.
And that was nothing that any of these other press conferences did.
I don't care about that so much.
You shut up.
E3 is like, but E3 is
I
not
think
like
it's
the
good.
only thing telling me about what's coming up in games.
Yeah, I know, but
a year.
it's...
I like E3 because it tells me what to expect in the future, like what's on the horizon. I don't give a shit what's coming out this year. I know what's coming out this year.
How do you
Tekken 7 came
how
out
do you
this
define
year,
the
year-end.
horizon?
Huh?
How do you define the horizon? Like, that's what I mean. Like, you get a lot of these other presses that we'll talk about, or some of these games where they get you so excited, they don't even have a year attached to it. You sit there and go, fuck.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool.
How
I
often
mean,
are they
like,
going
you
to
look
trot
at-
these games out?
You look at something like HoloLens, like that. that kind of, it was a bit of a cringy Minecraft thing from like 2 years ago. But like HoloLens, something like HoloLens is so much more exciting to me than a game coming out, in 3 months.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's what's on the horizon,
That's true. So Monday with it saw the Intel press conference and the PC gaming show.
Do you want to talk about that or just breeze through it?
Terrible.
Yeah. Shit ass, that one.
So shit. So badly executed. The only thing of note that they sort of came out with that got the crowd at least semi-interested was Age of Empires Remastered.
Half bar, you might say?
Yeah. They spent so much time hammering on about this new Core i9 processor, and then they were like, you need a processor like this to handle real resource-heavy games like Overwatch. And I'm like, Overwatch is one of the fucking most optimized games on the market, you stupid idiots. They just
resource-heavy?
They just wanted to put that in there.
Oh, they mean like using your PC resources. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there going...
They seriously use Overwatch?
Yeah. And then...
There's got to be a reason
That's
for
the
that.
graphics in that game are not
it's not
world class.
Specifically, like Blizzard make a point of sort of dumbing it down, so to speak, so that it's so much more accessible.
It's,
Why wouldn't
it's
they
one
say
of the most
something else?
optimized games
Fucking
on the
roll
market.
roll my Intel i3 and still play Overwatch.
All it was for was just for the sake of putting Overwatch in to try and get the crowd hyped. That's all it was for.
Yeah.
But like, it was just weird, the execution. They had a male host and they had a female host. But the female host was like, because it was a split level stadium where this was showcased.
Yeah, saying this. Yeah.
And she was upstairs for her segments. Like, they'd always cross to each other, right? They'd be like, let's cross over to... She was a streamer. His name was like Kitty Raw XX or something. Can't remember exactly. But like, they'd cross to her.
She's still on MySpace.
And she's on Vampire Freak.
She's on Bebo, yeah.
But her segments
That's a Vampire Freak.
her segments were pre-recorded for one, because you could see the same background, like she was directly above us. So you'd follow the lights up, right?
Was she there in person? What's going on?
I didn't
I'm having
see
a
her.
hard time
I did not
imagining
see
this.
her.
Brendan, the magic of Hollywood is being ruined for you.
But it was made even worse by... It was pre-recorded, but then they must have just done it in one take, because she'd sort of stumble on her words or say things wrong.
Well,
maybe to make it
Or
more
maybe
natural.
she was
They
there
might be on a
live
time
and she
pause.
was reading from a teleprompter.
Maybe they
sure?
were doing that on purpose to make it look like she was live.
Yeah, that's the only... But then
That's what
the
we
thing
did
that didn't
with the
work...
intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was lights, right? Beside the stage, there's two big pillars, and they sort of changed colours. They went from blue to red to yellow and all this.
Okay.
And you could see it from floor to ceiling. And so she's directly above us, and you could see those same lights behind her. But when they crossed to a live, the lights were different colour from
mate,
her to what they
stop
were showing
taking
live.
them
He's
It's-
really picking this
It's
apart.
just it's
great.
production, mate. Look,
No, but it's...
you'll understand that one day when we have our live show and we have our production assistant telling us how they're going to do it.
I feel
You'll
like...
understand.
Fire them, because there's fucking shithouse.
I feel like there's more to unpack here. I want to hear if someone else has a contrary opinion to you about whether Kitty Raw XX from Vampire Freaks was actually there in the flesh.
I didn't see
Or
her.
not.
In the fur.
I didn't see her there.
In the fur.
But it was just
Paws out.
so lackluster, so much of a fizzer, both of them. And because they did an Intel pre-show before it, right? Then they just repeated 90% of the Intel pre-show in the PC gaming show. So that
All right.
sucked.
So it was all crap.
So that sucked. So Monday was a bit of a low point there. And then I went to the Sony presser that night. Got early access to a few games on there. Got to play new Far Cry.
Got a little bit sauced.
Got a little bit
Cry.
sauced.
Let's get the goss on that.
On the drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell me.
so they had a media mixer before it from 3 till just up until 7. Presser kicked off at 7. Mm-hmm. So free nibbles, free drinks.
Or as they call it, a liver punish.
Some might.
Do they? Is that what they call it?
Some might.
Every one of these things that we go to, it's like a media thing, is always just like punishing your liver until
I think
you
that's just us.
have to die.
I think that's just our approach.
So I was drinking some Bud Lights, eating some popcorn, and
Love Bud Light.
played a bit of Need for Speed Payback while I was there. Played Far Cry 5 while I was there. Far Cry was fantastic.
So you played the demo they displayed during
Correct.
Ubisoft's conference, right? No, during during
Ubisoft's conference.
Yeah.
So I got to play that demo.
I'm confusing it with Assassin's Creed because obviously they had. Yep. Anyway,
So I got to play a bit of that. Got to play Assassin's Creed as well. Far Cry 5 was so fun. It's anyone that's played that series knows it's just this chaotic open world, do as you please, attack every objective however you like. I like this whole companion thing you can have within the game as well.
Yeah,
So
you
you've-
got dog meat.
You've got Boomer, which is like a blue healer looking pup who sort of not only can attack enemies, distract them, but also pick up items, bring you guns and things like that. You've got Nick, who's a pilot, and he does sort of like bombing runs. And then you've got Grace, who's sort of the sniper. So if you're into that more close quarters, shotgun in your face sort of style,
kind of like the A-Team in a way,
maybe.
where you've got like specialists.
Yeah, like they are specialists. I think not only because everyone loves dogs in video games, I think Boomer's going to be the crowd favorite, the cult hero of this game.
Doggos are the key to life.
But I found I was using Mr. Doggo, and he had a lot more utility. Like Grace and Nick in the plane, they can take damage and then they're knocked out for a little while. Where Boomer, you can't really take out of the fight, so he's always there, able to disengage enemies,
Limping around,
distract.
Loyal.
But it was nuts, like running around Montana, killing all these doomsday cultists. It was gory, bloody. The combat felt tight, whether it be sort of close up or whether it be ranged. The weapons felt on point.
Is it much of a political or social commentary?
Yeah,
it
is. But then there was some weird sort of lightheartedness and jokiness thrown into in that typical Far Cry way they do it. Like tonally, it could have went real dark, real heavy, and they touch on some of that, with this cult taking over the town. Crucifying people, drowning people, killing them, public executions and all that. But then there's this real sort of light-hearted black comedy in there from time to time as well. So it worked.
Yeah.
Just as long as they don't sort of lean too far onto the comedy, I think it might lose its way a bit. Like if they can keep it tonally somewhere in between, I think it's going to go well. Coming out in Feb, so I was surprised they actually had floor access to the game. It's 9 months away and it's playable on the floor, where a lot of these other games were just trailers. Played Need for Speed there. If you love Fast and Furious films, you're going to love this game.
I'm going to love this game.
Sick.
I'm going to love this game.
Yeah, felt tight, controls well, looks great.
What are the cars like? Because it's not really about cars and customization anymore, is it? It's more about saving the world.
There's customization. You can still do the full custom body kits and the crazy colors and the sprays and the stickers and all that shit.
Good.
So
Okay,
anyone that loves to...
Because I do love that.
To take their Skyline and trick it out however they like.
I'm not a car guy, but I love those games.
Yeah, you'll love this.
Good.
But the one thing that sort of I think will probably get a bit long in the tooth really quick is the car takedowns. So in the trailer you saw, you're pretty much reenacting scenes from like Fast and Furious 1 where you're trying to stop this truck to get this Bugatti out of the truck. But then all these typical bad evil cars, for some reason in all film
Black
games,
it's
always a black car, right? The black's always a bad guy. So you've got this slew of black BMWs.
Unless it's Toretto.
Unless it's Toretto in his old muscle car.
That's it.
But then he goes bad in the latest for a bit.
Yeah, but even then, it's still...
They were telegraphing it 7 films back, you see?
Yeah.
So you're taking down these BMWs.
He's a fucking national hero. Vin Diesel. He's a goddamn national treasure.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. No, trust me.
He's pushing it.
His peak was Pitch Black.
Yeah.
Nah,
or Groot.
His peak was dancing on YouTube to Crazy in Love in his hotel room drunk, putting it on a webcam, and then putting that on YouTube.
Yeah,
that was
that's
him
pretty good.
peaking.
Okay, I haven't seen that, so I might check that up.
That's
after
great.
this.
Please,
But anyway,
everyone watch that.
Doing these side missions, anytime you sort of smash one of these cars and take them out of commission, it does that slow motion down, Burnout style, where you're doing this big set piece and you see the car flipping and turning and sparks flying and car debris going everywhere. And it's cool to start with, but I'm sitting there going, if I'm playing this for 10, 20 hours and I have to see this 700 times or whatever, it's going to get pretty long really
You reckon?
quick.
I feel like you won't pay attention.
Can you
to
turn that feature off?
I don't know. I didn't pause it and check through the menus, so maybe you could.
I feel like you'd have to.
Maybe. And that would make sense if you could, because, it's
I'm still going to get this game. I'm definitely getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drift
So,
Wars.
I won't be Vin Diesel. I'll be Johnny Unleaded.
cool.
What?
Sounds about right.
I don't know. That's my pseudo
Alright.
So the
alter
Sony,
ego.
the
for
Sony presser was in
Vin
this
Diesel.
big, massive grand ballroom. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Just like last year, they opened with like live musical performance. Instead of the big sort of traditional opera band, they had sort of this, I don't know what you'd class them as, like just tribal sort of drum beats and chants and real primitive sort of music. It was cool though,
sort of tribal music.
And then they had this big set piece from the ceiling to the floor of water coming down, and it was sort of changing patterns as it's falling. It was like a 10-15 meter drop.
Those things, they had that in the Hyundai.
It looked awesome. So it was sort of doing that in time with this music, and it
sick.
hyped it up really well. Sony was nice and short and punchy, where they only had sort of people come out on stage 2 or 3 times total. Real quick sort of 10-20 second dialogue, then more games.
Yeah.
Just whack, 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 whack. But they rehashed their 2016 press conference almost. Like, they came out and they showed more God of War, they showed more Days Gone, they showed more Detroit. And some of they look great and they're awesome. But Detroit didn't even have a release date, not even a year.
Yeah, the hype on this game's going to die off now. I just think it's going to fade.
I was hoping that God
they
of War...
missed their fucking point.
No
was the right time.
No one talks about Detroit. It seems like, unless it was like, everyone was talking about it after E3 last year.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of talking about it again a little bit now. No one's talking about it in between.
But that's
it'll
Quantic,
come out, it'll be fine.
Like, Quantic, they're similar to a Rockstar. They take their time with making games. They work to their own schedule. I got to play Detroit at the Sony booth behind closed doors. I got to replay the original reveal from E3 2016. So you play Connor the detective, and you sort of got to go through this sort of multi-rise apartment crime scene, and you look at the clues and you try and analyze the crime scene.
Very LA noir.
And then there's a rogue android that's sort of standing on the edge of this building with a little girl. He's threatening to kill her or throw her off the edge or whatever, and you've got to obviously talk him down based off your research or reading the room, so to speak. It was awesome. Funnily enough, after the opening credits when I was playing it, I thought I was still in the cutscene, and so I stood there for about 5-6 seconds, and then the guy sort of said, "Oh, you're playing now." I'm like, oh fuck! Like, it looks that good. Like,
oh wow!
Graphically, it was very impressive. The controls and the movement structure felt a lot smoother than, say, a Heavy Rain, where the movement was sort of a bit jagged at times.
You're playing on a PS4 Pro?
Playing on a PS4 Pro.
Okay.
Looked gorgeous. I had a ton of fun with this. I'm really excited. Heavy Rain was and still is a great game. It's a game that you want to go back and have multiple playthroughs to get the true ending or the varied endings. There's that butterfly effect through the whole game. The latest trailer for Detroit looked awesome though, with Marcus and this other unnamed AI trying to lead this revolution to activate and make all these androids aware and uprise against the bad humans that are creating them. I like it. It's got a Deus Ex, real Deus Ex vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Not sort of full cyberpunk, but that AI mixing with human society.
Mm-hmm.
Being Human, that TV show that only made 1 season with Carl Urban. A lot of vibe to that. A lot of vibes in that.
You didn't like that show?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Very underrated. Well worth watching, actually.
Okay.
It's good fun. Yeah, but Sony, they just seem to play it safe. They came out with the big boys, and it was mostly just more hype, more hype, more hype.
Well, the thing is like, I think with a bigger company like Sony, where their product reaches far beyond video games, like, because they're under such heavy scrutiny and they've got to be way more concerned about share prices and stuff, like, they really do have to play it safe, because if they don't, like, it could be a knock-on effect for the rest of their business. So I kind of get that. Whereas the smaller studios, it's like that's all they do. So, they could throw something out there.
Like I can admire that they just came out with the big dogs, the home run hitters. They announced the Frozen Wilds DLC for Horizon, which was probably my favorite announcement of the Sony press conference. I'm a massive Horizon fan.
Yeah.
That's coming out later this year.
Game of the year.
Game of the year so far for me. Yep, 100%.
Yeah, you haven't played Tekken yet.
Oh, fuck off. What was that?
Was
that you imitating me? Or?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's your alter ego.
Yeah, so Days Gone, expanding on that initial gameplay last year, and it's like, oh great, another open world survival zombie game, ho-hum. But the expanded time that they showed with that game during that presser was great. I'm excited for it.
Could give a shit.
The zombie bear at the end was pretty cool. I don't want to go into too much detail about it all, because as I said, we're trying to avoid just re-speaking verbatim over these presses.
all the things you need to see are on YouTube.
Sony came out big, and one of the other big announcements for them was that there's a Shadow of Colossus remaster coming out in 2018.
Yeah.
They've also said that they're going to fix the controls a little bit.
What did you think of that?
I was like, fucking yes.
I never played Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh,
It's
dude.
so great.
I know,
So
but
great.
I've never played it.
Okay, I don't really think it's the same game.
I think it is. Like,
do you like God of War and stuff like that? Darksiders?
Yeah, I played Darksiders the first one.
Do you like that
God
one?
of War 3. I don't hate them.
Okay, it's
just
like
it's
that,
just boss
but-
battle. Like it's constant boss battles, but it's not just you stand there and hack and slash away. You obviously got to climb, navigate to the weak points.
Didn't they do an Ico and Shadow of the Colossus join pack for PS3?
Yeah, they did like a 1080p or 720.
I'm sorry, I'm letting the team down on this one, but yeah, no,
right.
I would like to play it.
But that was awesome. It's coming out in 2018.
You should play Ico.
So I'll do that.
That is probably more to the Sony fanboys than anything. Like it'll move some units, but it's not going to be a massive juggernaut as far as sales go.
Right.
But I thought that was really cool. On the Tuesday morning opened with the Nintendo Spotlight. Really short. It was like half an hour. Just games. But that was cool. They came out and in conjunction with sort of the Ubisoft presser from the day before as well, Mario Rabbids.
Did you talk about? Did we really touch on Ubisoft?
We didn't, but we can.
Well, did you go?
I didn't go to the Ubi presser. No.
Okay.
No.
That guy, the developer for Mario and Rabbids,
Who was crying?
is crying.
Yeah. So
I think that's like the biggest takeaway from that. Everyone saw that first and was like, "Look at this dude crying over this stupid game."
It was very nice. Like, it was
and
a
then
nice
the game
moment.
actually looks pretty cool. Looks amazing.
So, yeah, Mario X Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Ubisoft Nintendo crossover, a la an XCOM, as you said, a tactics-based game. I wanted to dismiss it immediately, just because I couldn't give a rat's ass about Rabbids.
Yeah.
For one, I love the Nintendo universe. I love the Mario universe. But then watching the surprising amount of depth in the combat and the strats that you need to employ in this. And then I played it a little bit. And it was good. It's good. And it's something that I definitely look at picking up when it drops in October.
Seems to have all of the, all the right signs for a good tactics game.
But still a weird mashup. I think Kerbo would love it. He's a big XCOM boy.
Yeah.
The sort of 8 characters. I don't know if they've got different abilities. They didn't really dive into that side
You're a
of
big
it.
Fire Emblem guy as well. Like, this is right.
Yeah. It's like Codename Steam, Advance Wars. Some of my favorite games.
All
like
that shit. Yeah,
that strategy stuff is. Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, so you've got Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Yoshi, and then you've got 4 Rabbids wearing suits of those other 4.
Yeah.
The Rabbid Peach is just terrifying. Just makes me real uncomfortable because she's sort of a bit out there and a bit not slutty, but like, unnecessarily flirty in the game for some reason.
Rabbid Peach.
Like, they just sexed her up for no reason. But yeah, just rabbits. They're just weird looking little characters. But I had fun. I played it for about 15 minutes. Navigated my way through, battled a few enemies. I don't really play many tactics games, so it was a bit of a learning curve, but I picked it up really quick.
Yeah.
I know it's probably level 1 or whatever, so it's easy.
Yeah.
The sort of developer that was standing beside me, sort of talking me through it, they sort of mentioned that the skill cap does obviously go up as you progress through the world, so there will be that constant challenge like you get in those other tactics games. But a lot of good buzz about that game on the floor. Like, people I was talking to, people queued up in the Nintendo lines, they were hyped. Before E3, I think everyone was just like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
But seeing it and then a lot of people playing it, they were like, you know what? This is cool. This is cool. Yeah, so Nintendo Spotlight was interesting. As you said, Pokemon, Metroid 4 Prime. They're the 2 big ones. Then there was obviously the Yoshi game as well that they announced. Mario Odyssey. I actually got a booth tour with Nintendo
great.
After the Spotlight.
Everything there looked great.
Played Mario Odyssey.
That could be the thing that makes me buy a Switch.
The one thing.
Well,
that's a lot of good reasons to have a Switch.
I know, but like
already
before it was just Zelda. announce like Mario Odyssey and Zelda, I could get a lot of
And
play out of
Mario
it.
Could do the AGPN Mario Kart battles they do every other night.
I was in that on
I'm not very
Cool
good
kids.
at it though.
last
I
night.
don't think that'd be good
last
for me.
night, and I lost the championship by literally 1 point.
You fucking
Oh.
Paul was on 197,
Is that why I could
and I
hear
was
you
on
yelling?
196.
I could hear him yelling.
He says that, but he wasn't even home, so he's full shit.
I feel like he's got PTSD, but now I know it's not that. It's just Mario Kart.
And the only other thing you weren't there. I don't want to touch it too much, but yeah, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
With Ubisoft.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone seems to be like super
It's great.
hot to trot about that one.
A
and
lot of hype.
Bring it back.
It's a great game. Like, the original is cult classic, well worth time. Like, you can get
Yeah.
it on the Xbox via backwards compatibility
Oh,
for
nice.
fucking $12-15, something
Steam? On Steam, probably?
I don't know about
still,
Steam.
I'm not sold on it. I knew nothing about this game coming into like the E3 conference, and could give a shit. And it just seems like this is something that everyone for the longest time have been, the biggest fans of, and blah blah. It just seems like everyone's kind of come out of the woodwork.
There was
support this thing.
There's a
that
lot of
doesn't
hype,
have
and the trailer
that doesn't have a year.
Yeah, the trailer looked great.
Although prototype gameplay footage is out.
Yeah. But then at the end of it, they're like, also go to projectspacemonkey.com and help us build this game.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means just join this community and generate excitement, or if they're genuinely saying we need money to make this game, or we need more.
They
think
should have
it's
been more
developers.
specific.
I think it's just the community. I think it's just building the community. They brought all the key stuff up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Should have
like
been
it
more
was a
specific.
nice moment. It was huge. That was a big mic drop moment. Like that.
Was it
Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon RPG, and Shadow of the Colossus were probably four of the biggest announcements that had the constant buzz on the floor. The other one was Anthem, which I am
Yeah, that looked
all
cool.
in on.
Is that your top pick?
Yeah, it's up there.
I said it's my favorite
certainly up
new,
there.
my favorite new IP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
Or that and Transference. I thought Transference looked pretty cool.
yeah,
Transference?
yeah, but they just didn't show much with Transference. Like on the Sony announcement, they're partnered in with Elijah Wood's studio that he partially owns, and it's some VR game. But that's really it. Like, it was cool art style.
I think it's a good way to market a VR game, though. Like, I'm genuinely interested in what the fuck this game looks like.
I did like the fact that
How it would
Sony
play.
did come out and showcase 5 or 6 new PSVR games, because I think a lot of people out there were worried that the PSVR is dead. You know, they didn't have the units. They're still sort of in limited supply, so
Yeah,
people were worried if they're sort of trying to downscale and just shift focus. But came out, showing the Inpatient, which is a pseudo prequel to Until Dawn, Supermassive Games. I played this in VR, fantastic. Scared the absolute piss out of me. Nearly fell off my chair in one scene going down this hallway. I'm excited because Until Dawn's one of my favorite
Yeah,
games
you
of
love
the
that game.
last 5-10 years. Anyone that doesn't have it, pick it up. It is so good. Anyone that loves 80s B-grade slasher films or horror films, pick it up. Get on it. Went to Logitech, play with some Logitech stuff on that day as well. Some new keyboards and mice.
Up and down some joysticks.
headsets. Yeah. Sliding in those memory card slots. They actually don't have memory card slots, so it doesn't make any sense. Then I went to one of the after parties that night. There was sort of a Twitch after party on, so it was interesting to bump shoulders with a lot of streamers out there, have a chat to some of them, see what they're up to. A few drinks, big night.
Would have been some big dogs there, too,
Yeah,
being
Yeah.
E3.
a lot of heavy hitters, a lot of celebrities from all walks of life. TV, film, wrestling, just big video game celebrities. It was bizarre. Sort of just walking the show floor and just randomly, like, someone would walk past, like, holy shit, that's bloody...
Nolan North.
Yeah, or like Samoa Joe from the WWE, or like the cast of fucking this film or that TV show. Like it was really cool. Really cool. So Wednesday...
Now, like, there goes Brendan from the Hungry Gamers.
Yeah, I
Whoa.
heard that at least once or twice in my head, but that was about as far as it goes. Wednesday, did the old Xbox booth tour, played a bit of Sea of Thieves, which was pretty cool.
Looked great. I'm so on for that game. I'm so ready for that to come out.
Yeah, it's just, I think us creating a little pirate community, like us jumping on together playing this, we're going to get the most out of it in that regard. Because I'm worried that doing this game solo or jumping in with random groups, you're not going to get the most out of it. Because there is a heavy emphasis on teamwork and cooperation. And I know you probably sitting there thinking, I love this. Like, if you jump in with randoms and they're not doing what you want to do and it's just chaos.
No.
Yes.
I wanna raise the flag of Captain Kerbo and sail and kill all the scallywag pirates.
You think I'd be captain?
I think you'd be a good captain, Kerbo. You really proved yourself.
Look
in
at
Kerbo
me.
on the 6%.
Look at me. I am the
His
captain
head
now.
just went,
I think it would be the funniest scenario. This dick calling the shots.
I think I would make
this
it.
dick calling the shots.
Get that seaman on starboard.
Done.
Get
I
on
don't
the poop.
know, but my pants are already dropped.
Abraham, you're on the poop deck.
Dropped. So, but I'm keen, and like even in the Microsoft conference when they showed more footage of it, you saw just at the end there, the dude just jumps on the cannon and goes,
Yeah, shoots himself via the
over.
cannon.
Yeah, so ready for this.
It looks super fun. It plays well. I was playing it with a group of 4 people on the stand, just running around pillaging, trying to get this treasure, and then you're sort of encountering enemies, and then in conjunction with that, you got rival pirate sort of groups coming onto the island to also try and get the treasure. So you're not only dealing with other real life human enemies, but also environmental enemies and sort of objectives as you go. So it was super fun.
Cool.
The technical alpha is still going. I think you can still apply to get into the technical alpha. It's on the Windows as well as Xbox. I'm on there. It's good fun. Doubling back, Skull and Bones, which was shown by Ubisoft, which is another
Do we really need to even talk
seafaring
about it?
one. I just wanted to tie it in because it does
Looks crap.
synergize here nicely.
It looks so bad.
If you played Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and you enjoyed the seafaring elements, that's what this game is.
Yeah.
There's no confirmation if you can actually control a character, get off your boat,
That's
or if it's just sea battles.
But that's fine. That was a fun part of Black Flag. But as a
But a whole
standalone
game,
who gives a shit?
Like I love Black Flag, but yeah, I don't want to have a whole game of sailing the 7 seas and just shooting other ships. Like,
Forget Skull and Bones.
yeah, so Skull and Bones is a bit of a fizzer. One that wasn't a fizzer, Crackdown 3.
Oh,
So Xbox true exclusive, Crackdown 3. So there's no time, there's none of that.
you don't think this was a fizzer?
You perked up.
Nah,
You perked up.
This is one of 2 games I was excited about
Yeah,
coming out of E3.
It didn't look great, like playing it.
Yeah,
It didn't look great.
Like graphically, it almost looked a
that's
little
what I
bit
thought.
last gen.
yeah, that's what I thought. But they have been preparing this game for a long time.
It just looked gimmicky too. Like, it looked really
like
gimmicky.
If you've played Crackdown or you've played a Red Faction, it's just do as you please, destroy the entire environment. Single story house, 50-story building, knock it down, throw things at it.
You're a cop, so you gotta
Yeah, you're like an enhanced officer. You get abilities so you can jump further, you can fly, you've got super strength as you go, you level all these abilities up. The destruction level was pretty nuts. Like, there was parts where I'm just picking up like a truck, throwing it at this building because the enemy's in there, building collapses down on it, enemy dies. Things like that, you feel pretty boss. Like, it's just fun. And it sort of distracts you, I guess, from the graphics being a little bit undercooked at this stage. Terry Crews is confirmed as a playable character.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Which is nice.
And
That's nice.
It's out just before the launch of the Xbox One X, which is cool.
So you can look at those bad graphics in
4K.
4K.
Yeah, so that was one big
Get all the
misstep.
teraflops.
One big misstep with Xbox, I think, is with Sea of Thieves, with State of Decay 2, a lot of these games that are IPs exclusive to Microsoft, they're not out in, like, with the launch of the One X. A lot of them are early 2018. So you get the One X in November, but all you really got that's coming out with that at the same time is Forza 7 and Crackdown 3.
Yeah.
I don't know why they couldn't get Sea of Thieves as well as State of Decay 2 out with it as well. So that way you've got 4 games that are going to harness and showcase that 6 teraflops.
But they're not, like, Sea of Thieves isn't the game that's going to really show you the
Yeah.
power of 4K. That's not
it's
a,
not.
that
Forza.
Neither is
Forza is.
Minecraft in 4K for that matter.
Yeah, which... Did you want to talk about that?
No.
Yeah, so
Fuck
they
it. It's
announced
redundancy at
they
its
announced
finest.
the Minecraft.
Yeah.
What was it? The the 4K resolutions pack or
some shit.
whatever.
I don't know.
Bit of fluff. There's now sun rays.
My boxes look better.
That's true. That's true. But one good thing on the Microsoft and Minecraft front is the cross-platform.
Yeah.
So you can play Minecraft not only on your Xbox One, with PC, with Nintendo Switch, and iOS and Android. Sadly, Sony have said, we don't want to play this game because in the back end of all this is an Xbox Live login requirement. So it's all hosted on Xbox Live, and it all synergizes between the respective brands. But Sony have said, we don't want to give up our potential customer database here, or we're fine with our Minecraft
I think it's a good
user base.
move for Sony to, sit out of that.
Yeah, but they're doing the same thing as well, doubling to the other cross-platform play with Nintendo is
Skyrim?
Rocket League.
Oh.
So Rocket League confirmed for the Switch, which was pretty cool. Can play between Xbox, PC, and Switch, but not the PlayStation as well. PlayStation, like, you know what? We don't need to play with these other losers.
Yeah. No, we don't need you guys.
And yeah, they are winning the console war by a long way. So I guess there is probably a bit of arrogance attached to it for this gen, but it's for the good of the gamers. Let everyone play together. Blur the lines. Blur those lines.
I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care as much.
Like, I understand both sides of the coin, but it's weird that 80% of the community are like, yeah, we're all in. We'll share our customer base. But then Sony are like, nah, we want to protect our quote unquote protect our user base because we can't control how evil the Xbox
They have
Live
crossplay. They've got crossplay with Street Fighter 5 crossplay between
PC,
PlayStation and PC.
Yeah, and the same as Rocket League. They're the only two.
So, anyway, all right. It's another story for another day, for another episode of the Hungry Gamers. Not
Another
6ix9ine.
Another game they showed and I played real briefly was Super Lucky's Tale. When the trailer was shown at E3, I actually thought it was New Conkers. I thought, fucking yes, this is what they need. This is going to be great. And then it was just this weird little puncy side-scroller platformer,
Not a big
cutesy
deal.
Banjo-Kazooie looking rip-off.
Yeah.
It's
Something
just-
for the kids.
Yeah.
You gotta have something for the kids, Brendan. They can't all be Brendan White, Horizon Zero Dawns.
Why can't they, Sam?
Well, it's just the way the world
Because there are more
works.
people in the world than you.
Yeah.
Really?
There'd be everyone would line up for Transformers
Oh, here
last
we
night.
go.
You know what I mean? Like that's what would happen.
Roger Ebert's back in the house again. Fuck me.
Very good call there, Brendan.
I try,
Fuck is
Reese.
this
I
circle
try.
jerk over here?
I thought it was a good call.
That's a good call, Brendan.
'Cause we're housemates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, that was good.
Not really.
Roger Ebert, yeah. Not many people reference him.
A lot of people know who Roger Ebert is.
Oh, okay, Mr. Culture.
A lot of people know who Roger Ebert is.
That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what he's not doing right now. Well, he's not doing anything. He's dead. But he wouldn't be seeing Transformers. That's for fucking sure.
No,
He would if
I
he
think
was
he
still
would,
doing
yeah.
film
he would
reviews.
not be looking at Transformers. He would not.
I don't
waste
think he
his
would do
time.
it willingly.
I bet Margaret
No.
Pomerantz has gone and watched it.
I much prefer the French version. Le une transforme.
Close. It's
Last
good.
night.
So,
So Mario Odyssey, played it for
where are we
about-
up to? Let's go back to just your days. Where are we right now? Because we're jumping all over the spot. We're on day 3,
We're on day 3.
and you've just seen Nintendo.
Yeah, so
Because we went back into Microsoft land there a little while ago.
yeah, so no, we're on to Wednesday where I jumped on the Xbox tour.
Right, okay.
So I've done the booth tour, went over to Devolver Digital, but they had their booth right, not in the convention center. They were in a car park over the road. In typical Devolver fashion, I think. They do a lot of things different.
Okay.
They're a crazy house. They do insane trailers, insane games. They sort of walk to the beat of their own drum. Like, they had genital jousting available to play there, funnily enough.
Cool.
And they had, like, little dildos you could buy. Things
What?
like that. Like, just weird shit like
Did
that.
you buy one?
No. I stole one. It's in
Really?
me right now.
Okay. I would believe that.
I probably shouldn't have said that.
Because
I didn't steal it and it's not in me.
That's staying. That's
He
staying
bought
in
it
the
and it's
cart.
at home.
That was a weird thing to say, Brendan, but Freudian and all of that. So you went to Digivolver, you stole a dildo, inserted it
Digivolver.
rectally.
I went to Devolver Digital.
Devolver, sorry.
Went over there. It was great. They had food and drink. So free beers, free food. So they were getting a bit of pull through because they were off the beaten track, out of the convention center, over the road, in a car park. But that was just their typical indie guerrilla sort of mentality. It's good fun.
Beer and dildos.
Gentle jousting dildos and things like that.
Cool.
Power to them. Went over to the E3 Coliseum after that and sort of sit down with Jeff Keighley and Hideo Kojima, which was pretty cool. And then also they had this thing going all day on the Wednesday, and they had sort of developers from respective houses or big games going through the hardship of getting this game going. Sort of, they talked about how Crash Bandicoot came back, like they had a segment on that.
Sure.
Missed that. They talked about...
Which is soon. That's coming in like a month.
No, this week, isn't it?
Literally in 6 days. It's out on the 30th of June.
Yeah.
So it's out this week, which is going to be so good.
There you go.
So I watched a couple of little Q&A discussions in the E3 Coliseum. Went out on the Wednesday night, got a little bit rowdy. It was good times. Had some drinks with some of the people from Deep Silver who were doing Agents of Mayhem, which is sort of the loosely attached sequel / son of Saints Row. If you look at it in that regard.
Okay.
Had some time with it on the show floor. It's good fun.
Batshit crazy.
Batshit crazy, just like Saints Row. Massive big sandbox to run around in. Do as you please. Hand-to-hand, shooting, driving, all that stuff you love with Saints Row. It's not as insane. There's no like dildo launcher guns and things like that that are in.
Not that you could see.
Not that I could see. Maybe that's sort of in the next level.
Dubstep guns.
But I think there was 15, if I remember right, 15 characters you can choose from.
Okay.
And they've all got different abilities, and you can take 3 characters out. So say you control one, then you've got the other 2, and you can swap to them on the fly. So you can mix up your tactics and your play style. So you could have sort of a long-range sniper in conjunction with a big sort of brawler, tanky style, and then sort of a mid-tier. They had sort of like hand-to-hand specialists, people using machine gun, the whole bloody gamut of weaponry available. And then they've all got ultimate abilities and stuff. So it was good fun. I think you'll love it. You're a big Saints Row boy.
Hell yeah.
And that comes out later this year. So Deep Silver are doing some good stuff with that. Thank you for the drinks as well, Diana and the crew, and thank you for the sore head on the Thursday with that. So the last day was Thursday, June the 15th.
Final day.
The final day.
The final chapter in B3.
The last
I know
hurrah.
I was saying D3. I've got dildo on the mind.
Always do, mate.
Yeah. Episode
Always
69.
So I did a Sony sort of media booth tour. Got access to sort of the behind the curtain stuff there. Saw extended time of Spider-Man, which looks fucking awesome. It's probably that and Anthem are my 2 games of E3. Spider-Man looked great. Insomniac are doing the franchise the utmost respect. If you played Spider-Man 2,
yeah, it looked a lot like
probably
Spider-Man
the
2.
best Spider-Man game that has came out to date. Similar vibes to that. Massive big open world, massive Manhattan to explore. We sort of had some extended time. We didn't get to play it, sadly, but we got to watch the couple of members of Insomniac play through right in front of us and sort of take us off the beaten track, extend what they showed at the end of the Sony presser. And then we had a bit of a Q&A after that. And they confirmed that there is open world elements to it. So in between missions, whether it be side mission or main, you can just sort of web sling around Manhattan and explore.
Very much like Spider-Man 2.
You can attack.
Very much like Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the combat style is very much like the Arkham franchise.
Have you seen the side-by-side comparison?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much on the nose.
Yeah, so there is, chaining attacks, using the environment, timing your blocks and your counters. There is a lot of that. There is some quick time events in it. Not to the extent that's going to sort of take away from the fluidity of the game, I don't think. They're here and there. Looks great. Teased at the end Miles Morales, which was pretty fucking cool, who is obviously another Spider-Man in another universe. He was the actual first African-American Spider-Man. So he's in the same universe.
This is where I have no idea what the hell he's saying.
But it's weird because they've blurred the different universes, right? So there's the Peter Parker Spider-Man that you control, but then at the end they do the Miles Morales sort of big old Easter egg there, and they've said he's a key character in it, so they've meshed the 2 universes together for the first time. So they're getting a little creative freedom. I like that.
Smart move.
They got the thumbs up from Marvel to do that. So that's exciting. That's exciting.
It's exciting. Okay.
It looked good.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things
did,
with it too is in that trailer they showed where he was going through that construction site and saving the members and attacking. He said you don't have to start at, say, objective A and work through to Q. You could start from Q and go down. So you aren't pigeonholing going from, say, first floor to the top. You could go from the top, work your way down. You can attack it however you like. So there's a bit of freedom there, which I like. Look tight. Controls look smooth. Like the guy controlling it, he didn't look like a rocket scientist, but he was using Spider-Man pretty fluidly. He was just web slinging from here to here, whooping some ass, doing this, that, the other. Looked really nice too on the PS4 Pro in the behind the scenes.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and that's coming out in 2018.
There you go.
Which is pretty exciting. That's where I played Detroit Become Human, which you already touched on. Played a bit of Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
We'll probably talk about that next week anyway.
Yeah, it'll be out next week. So, but anyone that's on the fence about it, don't be. Because you can actually... I think EB Games are doing it. You can trade in any 2 PlayStation 4 games and get Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy for $20.
Nah.
Yeah, nah. That sounds like a bit of a fucking rip-off to me.
What? Especially because they're...
Why am I giving them 2 good games?
There would be...
and then
games.
paying them $20 as well.
So there's no exclusions.
No, any PlayStation 4 game. So you could buy two copies of, say, The Order 1886, which I think you can get for about $8. 2 copies of that and that. And it's $20. So it's
pretty good pull on that.
I feel like this is something you've got to investigate further.
40. That's $36.
Yeah, for 3 games. Because it's
36,
Crash 1, 2, and 3
for Crash.
Yeah,
3
exactly.
games, sure.
36 for Crash.
But like,
so how much is it normally?
$60.
Okay, so you're getting it half price. That is good.
And you're getting 3 games.
I feel like they wouldn't sell you 2 copies of the Order.
Oh, they have to. They absolutely have to.
But
if they're saying any...
Hold on.
Because I worked at a game shop.
They would know. Like, they would know.
There's no limit.
No, hang
no
on. So I used to work at JB, right? And we had the trade 3, get 1 free. And there was an exclusions list, right?
Yep.
But people would comb the exclusions list
to the cheapest game
and look for the titles that weren't there, and then go buy them, and then trade them for and they would do that all the time.
I'm just saying that sounds great. Sounds like there has to be a catch. It's too good.
I don't think so because
as if they're gonna let it fuck. What are they gonna do with pre-owned copies of the Order?
What I did the other
and people would be buying the same copies and trading them in over and over.
Yeah.
There's no exclusions because I did a trade-in with a copy of Watch Dogs 1 that I bought for like $7 to get the cheap trade-in deal for the PlayStation 4 Pro. Just any game. And I called them and said, is it literally any game? And they said, yep, as long as it's the PlayStation 4.
I bet you didn't call the galleries though.
Do it.
Nah.
Just do it. Just, if this is true, if this is the case, Brendan, if you're not telling fibs again.
$20.
To be cool.
All right, well, look.
Friends.
I no doubt one of our listeners will be buying Crash this week. All we're saying is test the theory.
Test the theory. We're not liable if it fucks up.
Go and buy 2 shitty, cheap games. And I guess they could be pre-owned too, right?
Yeah. That's
and
what
then
I did
just
with Watch Dogs.
Seriously?
So the cheapest games you can find, like PES 2008 or whatever it is.
Pro Evo Soccer.
Yeah, some ridiculous thing. And trade it in and tell us your results.
Okay.
Because we're all about exploiting the system.
We're there. We are all about exploiting the system. We
what we
really
do.
are, aren't we?
Oh, you have to. Because that is what people do.
This is why you'd be a great captain, Reese. This is why you'd be a good captain.
Oh.
You look for the
Holy
loophole.
shit.
You go for the jugular.
It's $20 when you trade in any 2 Xbox One, PlayStation 4, or Switch games. So if you could find 2 even cheaper games on Switch or not Switch, that'd still be higher.
No, the Xbox One would probably be cheaper because that Xbox One came out first, right?
No, PlayStation 4 came out first.
Oh, okay. So you could potentially find. Okay, so
I don't know how it works.
Go and get the 2 cheaper. Yeah, or I'm really surprised you picked out the Order. That's like
it's so cheap.
It's a really good pick out. Like you've got that in your your library upstairs.
Yeah, I'm reading the fine print, and all it says is, you must be in resaleable condition.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
It's $20.
So if you go and pick 2 games off their shelf, they can't argue that they're not in resaleable condition because you're like, well, I bought them off you, so they can definitely.
Or just go to JB and comb their cheap used Section 2.
Yeah, because there'd be some $4 treats
Or
in there
just
for
take
sure.
2 of your big mistake games and just take them back. Crash will be worth it.
Or even just, Gumtree.
So this is the B3 wrap-up, I guess. Last day, final chapter.
B for Brendan.
B for Brendan, of course. I don't know if that was not obvious or not when we came up with it. The B3 E3 wrap-up.
Yeah,
The B3.
So Sony played some Gran Turismo Sport. No one gives a shit about Gran Turismo anymore, I don't think. I think Forza has firmly ascended to the top of the racing throne. I played both Forza 7 and Gran Turismo Sport at E3.
What was the highlight of this booth? Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, watching and playing Detroit was great. They were the 2 biggest ones. Not on the Sony booth, but as a freestanding Activision booth that was using Sony PlayStation hardware with Call of Duty. That was a highlight. Playing big multiplayer COD. So I played sort of an objective-based one and then a standard team deathmatch. Feels like a COD game, but when you're splicing in that World War II muddy trench warfare, real intense close quarters combat, that was fucking sick.
Yeah.
I really loved Battlefield 1 last year, and I think COD are making a game that's going to rival that. Obviously, I haven't played the single player because the single player in Battlefield 1 was awesome, but just on the multiplayer side...
COD single player stuff's always good, though.
Big action
I feel like
set
it's always
pieces.
pretty tight.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
It's going to
It's
feel
literally
like
the only
playing
reason you jump in.
Saving Private Ryan, I'd say.
Yeah.
when
Okay.
This new one. It was interesting, the different classes. The standard assault soldier class seemed to win out. Everybody was using it. It seemed to have the most damage versus distance ratio with the guns. Tried the shotguns, a bit undercooked. Tried the submachine guns, a bit hit and miss, but the assault rifles seemed to be the early way to go in this game. They were doing some damage. Destiny 2 on PC. Holy fucking shit. 4K, 60 frames or whatever it was transmitting at. It looked so pretty.
Yeah, I can't wait to play that when it comes out.
So pretty. Got me further excited for it. Destiny's another one of the games of sort of the show for me. So I guess we've forgotten about it because it has been in talks and showcased several times this year. Comes out in 2018, which is great. There's a game to care about this year that's up there with your Tekken 7.
No, it doesn't touch it.
Oh my
Doesn't touch it.
The 6%er.
The 6% of everything, my
But
friend.
I can see why the PC community is so excited to get Destiny 2. And kudos to Blizzard or Activision Blizzard for setting it up to allow that sort of portal for Destiny 2 to exist in the PC space. I'm still excited to get it on the PlayStation 4 and play with you guys like we have with Destiny 1. But it's still probably the tightest feeling first-person shooter on the market. You know, the weapons...
Yeah, it's fantastic. Destiny is the greatest FPS in my opinion.
Yeah. The weapons are just on point. The aiming structure, the hitboxes...
Motion, yeah.
Everything. So anyone that's a Destiny fan out there is going to love Destiny 2. The new subclasses for the 3, Titan, Warlock, and Hunter is pretty cool. I'm excited to try this new Titan subclass because he's got that Captain America shield, so you can start throwing that out. Going to be smashing clowns with that all day. So Destiny 2 was awesome. Played a few other games. Played Knack 2, of all things. Played Everybody's Golf, which it's a cartoony based golf game, but you can create whoever you like. So you could create yourselves in
So
the
I
game.
can make like a fat ass version of myself.
You could
and play
you
golf.
could. Like they
there you go.
for the conference actually had Shuhei Yoshida, like the head of Sony, in the game. So I was running around as Shuhei, hitting golf balls, running like here, there, and everywhere, and run around the golf courses. It's fun. Those games are dumb, but they're fun.
Yeah.
You know, playing that with a few mates, having a few beers, very, very enjoyable. But yeah, as on E3 as a whole, the highlights to me: Horizon Zero Dawn DLC, obviously. More Horizon is never a bad thing. Guerrilla just crushing that ass with this game. Days Gone. I'm excited for more Days Gone. Now they've expanded on a little bit and shown that there's a bit more stealth and sort of multiple branching options to tackle certain goals. The wilderness looks great. that American Midwest, cool bananas. Anthem, new BioWare IP. They've plucked the head writers from the Mass Effect franchise, plugged them into this, so you know they can write good story.
Yeah.
Cruising around in these suits. The initial trailer from EA generated the hype on that first day, but then when they did the extended video with the actual gameplay and the Xbox presser,
Yeah, look
everyone
really
was
good.
just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of those big wow moments. What did you think of it? Because I know you were pretty keen on Anthem.
I thought it looked great. I was pretty sucked in really quickly. By the time they got into that void, into the rift, whatever they called it at the time, I was fucking hooked. I was like, what's on the other side of that? Obviously an instance, but, you know, it looked really good. I liked the idea of customizing your little mech suit. It hits all the right notes. We'll see where it goes, though. Everything looks great at E3. You know, that's the problem with these games. Everything always looks good. And then years down the line, you realize, oh, Anthem, what a piece of shit.
No.
Yeah.
I think Anthem will be great. I think it'll be the start of something beautiful for BioWare, and I really hope it takes off for them, because good on them for,
Yeah, BioWare make good games.
you know,
Yeah.
Like,
And-
I
they don't
love
take
BioWare
decisions
games.
lightly.
No. And they...
I'm just, you know, I always take everything I see at E3 with a grain of salt. That's all.
And you need to, like, the opening scenes in the Microsoft press conference for Anthem, where they're walking through that bazaar and the lights breaking down through, and the MP, everything was such high levels of detail. Like, it was gorgeous. And as you said, obviously they dial a lot of this up as just a glorified tech demo to build this anticipation, that excitement. So the finished product might not look as good as that, but I love the idea of jumping in that Javelin suit, cruising around, and then you guys might randomly jump online and then just jump in or jump out of the game with me as well. I like that sort of rubber band sort of party dynamic where people can just pick up and play whenever they liked. I love that, it's you and 3 other mates running through this world. It's sort of, what'd say, it's like Destiny meets Iron Man meets Crysis meets that typical BioWare fare, right?
Yeah, nice.
But that part where they're flying around in the Javelin, dives into the water, looks really beautiful, that scene, big set piece, and then he sort of breaks out of the water, and then he's immediately sort of under attack. Like, the transitions from land to air to sea seem really fluid, and if they can nail that, it would be really, really great to play.
I agree. But again, grain of salt. Let's see what happens next year.
Yeah, so Detroit, obviously, is another highlight, from not only from what I saw from that new trailer, but from what I got to play. Spider-Man was another highlight for me.
B3. It was your E3.
Okay. Yeah. And Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, was the other highlight. Lowlights, the crowds. It was a sea of people. And you know, you can't sort of shun the people individually or as a whole.
But you want to, though, right? You want to just kick a kid and say, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, trying to film things, especially by yourself, like, it'll be a lot easier, obviously, having someone else there with you, whether they're front of camera or sort of using dual cameras, but doing it by yourself, you're elbow to elbow with everyone, you're getting bumped and shoved and pushed. So trying to film and record stuff, no good. Other lowlights, there was a lot of announcements that just either undefined, no dates, long ways off. Sony sort of just putting new polish on their presser from last year. Same amount of games that they've already talked about with just a little bit more shine on top. But the biggest one, I think, was Microsoft just missing the mark with the Xbox One X.
I don't think they missed the mark. I just think it's like, it's just everything had an asterisk. I think that's it. I don't think they missed the mark. It was a great conference.
I think just with the One X, the handling of that, like...
That was fine.
It's an early adopter thing now, really. It's not like there's 8 new games that'll be out in the first week that you want to get on. It's like, buy it now. Games are coming in 2018 and beyond.
But you can literally play any game on that thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but
it's not the same as a brand new console where you've only got like the Switch, for example, which only had so many that you could play. I forget the number, but there wasn't like a lot of launch titles. I think there was enough. I mean, it is what it is. It's part of a broader family of Xbox One, and I don't think that, you know, missing things like Sea of Thieves. Like, again, what's really going to push graphics on to make 4K really emphasized?
But what's going to push? What's going to push day one
anyway?
sales of the One X? Like, if you've got an
They
Xbox
didn't give
One
a shit
S,
about day one sales.
they've got an Xbox One S. which can
Spencer's,
already...
I disagree with that. I think day
Phil
one sales
Spencer's-
are probably
Phil Spencer
the most
said
important
himself.
thing, if not, like the main thing they're striving for.
No, Phil Spencer said himself in an interview with GameSpot. I mean, like, yeah, they care about console sales, but console sales aren't really like the biggest revenue stream for them at all. And he knows that this isn't going to be touching the numbers of Xbox One sales. It's not for everyone, this console. It's literally just for high-end gaming.
But even now, like, the Xbox One S can sort of give you some graphical fidelity upscaling.
Yeah.
And you've got UHD.
Yeah.
So if you've got the One S, there's no real
There's nothing wrong with that.
key hook to
Yeah.
want to jump to the X. And I'm sitting there now like, I'm going to get it on day one just because I like to be an early adopter. But, like, it's not going to be this massive big leap in
But you're going to have
in
to
tech
upgrade
from
your
the start.
TV, aren't you?
Nah, got that OLED, brother.
But that's not 4K.
Yeah, it's the best television on the market.
Of course it is.
It is.
How old is it?
Like 3 months.
Oh, I didn't know you got one that old.
That new?
Well, that new, I mean, yeah.
No, I bought it a couple of months ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
All
thought you
right.
still had your old Samsung.
Still
I was
got that too.
like, okay, because that's the one I was thinking about. So I'm like,
Yeah, no, I got the LG 65-inch OLED, which is
Ah.
4K, and it is mint.
yeah, nice.
Yeah. So that'll make the Xbox One X look really nice, but there isn't a huge amount of games that'll push it apart from, say, Forza 7 at launch. Everything else is just new stuff that's going to get a little bit of an upscale or an upgrade via a patch, which I like. But yeah, that's E3. If there's any other questions or anything you want to know, or
B3.
sorry.
B3.
Me 3.
I can't think of anything else that rhymes with it. I'm struggling here. B3. I like B3. BE3.
BE3.
That should be the title of this episode.
Okay.
Is that alright? Or SexE3. Like you said, that was your idea, right?
That was my idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, SexE3. Oh, because it ties into the 69th episode as well.
There you go.
Which we haven't really talked about.
I haven't
at all.
really thematically been too consistent with that one.
That's all right. It was just a little
I like the intro.
little nod.
I like the
That's it.
intro.
We may use that as a standard. Who knows?
I want that
We,
to
we
be
might
the
we'll just
standard.
cut it down a little
Tweet
bit
us.
shorter.
Tweet
Yeah.
us.
We'll make it work.
Anything
Cool.
you want to say? Anything? Any
No,
closing statements you guys have on it?
I concur with like 95% of that in terms of, general opinions and feelings. I think, everyone sort of feels the same way. It wasn't the strongest E3.
No, it was very
but-
safe.
But they can't all be fucking knockouts either. They can't all be, 2015s. Yeah, cool. I'm glad to have you back, man. I'm glad you got back safe and sound. It's been a long winter. I
hope you come back next week.
Without you.
I'll be back next week. You guys back next week?
No, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
actually, no. I'll be in Wollongong.
Oh,
So
Might be a solo podcast.
actually, no. I should be here.
Okay.
I'll be here in the morning.
we'll find out. Tune in next week for the 70th episode. But before that, all that housekeeping, be sure to hit us up as a collective at We Are 8-Bit on all the social media channels. On the YouTubes, there's a couple of recap videos of E3. So check out youtube.com/We Are 8-Bit. Reese can be found at Reese 8-Bit. Salim can be found at Salim Abraham. I can be found at Brendan 8-Bit. 8bit.net for everything else. And that, I think, is a B3. Or a SexE3.
Woo! See you next time.
If you're lucky.
Stay hungry.
Much love.
Fuck you.
Definitely lots of love because it's the 69th episode.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
that
yeah.
sweet, nasty love.
Do we have an outro?
No.
You might have to make one.
We'll have to make one. I think you should make one.
Let's improvise one.
Oh,
Give me a beat.
ooh, yeah.
It's the outro. Oh yeah, it's the outro. I'm gonna sex you like my mouth roll.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, baby. Gonna give it upside your head. Hungry gamers, I'm hungry for your love. Let's all go out and eat each other out.
Stay hungry.
And sexy.